Hi everyone and welcome to Tosa's Show. I'm your host Tosa and today we're gonna play Policenauts. So for those who don't know, Policenauts is a PlayStation game that was created in 1994-1996 as you can see here. And listen to that music for a minute. Do you recognize it? If not, it's okay. But just FYI that this music was actually the beginning. When you have a Konami logo popping up on Metal Gear Solid, the first of his name, you had that music in. So yes, Policenauts is actually a game from Sir Hideo Kojima. So I better get started. Kojima did multiple games apart from obviously the most famous one, which is Metal Gear, and the latest one, Death Stranding. And one of them is Policenauts, the other one is Snatchers that I think came out in the US actually on the Mega CD or the Sega CD. I think you named that Sega CD. Sorry, as you know, I'm French, so I know the name like in Europe. So let's get started. Alright, I'm gonna use memory card 1.
大変長らくお待たせいたしました。ただいまよりポリスノーツを上映いたします。最後までごゆっくりとご鑑賞ください。
+1 that. Let's enjoy the show.
...2010年人類初のスペースコロニービヨンドコーストが完成し人類の宇宙への本格的進出が開始された2013年コロニーへの一般市民の移住に伴い数十万の移住者たちの治安を守るため俺たち5人の宇宙訓練を受けた警官が選抜されたイギリス・スコットランドヤードからゲイツ・ベッカー日本の警視庁からジョセフ・貞興徳川アメリカ・ニューヨーク市警からサルバトーレ・トスカニーニそしてロサンゼルス市警から俺とエド・ブラウン世界中の警察からえりすぐられた俺たちは警察権限を持つ宇宙飛行士としてポリスノーツと呼ばれた
So I probably will do some voiceover from time to time depending on the fact that if they're talking or not. Like for example when we're talking up until now, so trying to avoid that. But let's continue watching in silence. I guess the one that is kind of like in danger is our main character. But we'll see that soon enough. So as you know, we're already in 2020 and nobody is in space yet and there's not a police group that goes to space like an astronaut. But, you know, would have been great, right? "25 years later." So since it was in 2013, it's in 2037? 38? Jeez. The Hideo Kojima game, you see? Like I told you all. Kikuko Inoue, wow! So for those who wonder, Kikuko Inoue is a very famous actually voice actress in Japan. She's the one that does the voice of Belle Dandy. One day I'm probably gonna talk about Oh My Goddess in the show, but we'll see. It's just something that I love so much. But anyway, let's continue to see what's happening here. For a PlayStation game, you know, it has a good design style. I'm wondering like how much of those cutscenes are just, you know, I'm taking inside the disc. So just FYI, because you don't know right now, but actually there's 2 discs for that game. So right now we're on the first disc. So I assume that the amount of information in this disc was pretty high. So I don't know if you saw, but within the musician, there's one of them that is named Tappy, I think. He's actually also working on the Metal Gear Solid first episode. He's the one that I think created the main theme that you hear quite often, up until they replaced him with that American composer, I don't remember his name. Anyway. Prologue. Oh. So I guess we on Earth. Well, I think it was written Los Angeles, so we're in the United States.
俺はジョナサン・イングラム。30年前スペースコロニーのビヨンドコーストでポリスノーツとして働いていた。もっともエンプス事故で宇宙をさまよっていた俺にはわずか数年前のことにしか思えない。まだ生々しい記憶だ。妻や友人、仕事、何もかも30年前に置いてきてしまった。あの事故で過去を失った俺はこの汚れた街オールド LA でネゴシエーターまがいの探偵をしている。幼児誘拐や人身売買のネゴシエート、身代金の仲介、脱獄犯の逮捕などヤバい依頼ばかりだ。だが俺みたいな過去をなくした男にはそんな世の中の海がなければ飯も食っていけない。せいぜい腹いっぱいになるまで頑張るしかないか。
Alright, we're gonna play a detective novel apparently.
さて、依頼人が来るまで何をしようか。この部屋には俺の過去を示すものがたくさんある。前方の壁には新聞の切り抜きや写真が。机の上にはあいつとの写真。どれも記憶の空白を埋めるものばかりだ。
Alright, I think you can get started. That's very interesting. As you can see, it's like a cursor, and I think that... Okay, if I click on something, it shows me like the interface in order to do an action. So our character is Jonathan Ingram, and I assume we're gonna know more about him by looking at all the things that is on this desk right now. So let's get started. Right now, just look at the lamp of the cabinets outside. So now I'm gonna actually read things for you guys too. So the cabinets. These cabinets are filled with information on past cases and clients. They are not exactly a pleasant read, but the papers inside are worth their weight in gold. Alright. This leads out to the building fire's escape, so apparently we can go out. You always gotta make sure your ass is covered with good old plan B in this line of work. Alright, well, we have a plan B if somebody's attacking us, you know, like a deviant or something. It's a beer can. It's empty. They used to use aluminum for cans before, but these ones are made from biodegradable plastic. That's good. It's good for the environment. Okay, let's look at this Marlboro package here. Those are Muslims. The only cigarettes in the world that still give off secondary smoke. I don't like the pure band cigarettes you get today. These are mixed cigarettes. Part conventional, part bent. Bent cigarettes are cigarettes that don't produce any secondary smoke, which you light simply by breaking off the end. I say light, but there's no actual fire involved. They worked off a chemical reaction, and even the leaves are specially processed. They don't give off any smoke or ash and make a room more pleasant. But they're not my thing. The only brand I've touched now is Muslims. Well, they really look like Marlboro if you'd ask me. It looks like a badge. Oh, it's a lighter, I guess. This is a Bradley oil lighter. They're the manufacturer of the only lighter still in production. You don't need lighters or matches for today's bent cigarettes. Well, that's really cool actually, you know, if the cigarette is just like doing things by itself. Okay, let's see. These are books from the 20th century I found at an antique media store. From the days when a book meant a real book, not software. Alright, so actually, let me try something. As you know, the way that I'm playing it right now is actually with more like an Xbox 360 controllers, but on the PlayStation, the buttons that I'm pressing right now in order to actually make an action is the circle. It's a Japanese game, so everything is done by the circle. And you know why? It's because when you think about it, when you were playing with a Genesis or when you were playing with a Super Nintendo at the time, the button that was the A button was the one that was the most on the right side. So the circle button or the B button that you can see on an Xbox controller is actually the most right side button. Well, that was the little tip of the day, I guess. Well, no, it's not a tip. The little insight of the day. Well, whatever you name that here. Anyway, we were looking at some of those certificates on the wall. I was given this award by the mayor back when I was a cop. Me and Ed were a well-known team in LAPD. Oh, and by the way, I apologize if I do the voice very badly. Anyway, as you can see, I have an accent too, so it doesn't necessarily help, I assume. Alright, let's look at those newspapers hanged on the wall. This is a newspaper article from when I was rescued from the EMPS's survival ball 3 years ago. 25 years of wandering, miracle recovery, Policenauts astronaut Ingram. The headlines reads, 25 years lost voyage, Policenaut Ingram's miraculous return. I spent 25 years inside this thing waiting to be found. I've had cosmophobia ever since. I just can't go back out there anymore. I'll read some of the article. Policenaut Jonathan Ingram, presumed dead after an accident during presumed dead after an accident during a spacewalk in an EMPS prototype 25 years ago, has been rescued by the unmanned exploration vessel Propaganda. His miraculous survival is being attributed to the fact that he transferred himself to an equipped life pod at the time of the accident and remained in cold sleep the entire time. He's gathering attention as a living example of the effects of 25 years of cold sleep on the human body. It took over a year for my muscle to return normal after I got back. Ugh, 1 year is super long. Like, I wouldn't like not having to move for 1 year or trying to understand how to move again. I'll read some of the article. Oh, it's the same thing. Okay. So I assume that EMPS will be explained to us later on. Let's see. This is a picture of... Oh, sorry. Let's get started. This is a picture of me taken when I was a Policenaut. Alright. I guess we did this thing. So we're gonna go back. This was a relatively small article in a corner of the newspaper. Let's see. If I look at others, is that seen as others? Oh no, oh no, 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 no. I think the game bugged again. Yep. I'm very sorry guys, but I guess we'll have to call it a day already. Alright, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna take a little bit of a break and come back here. See you in a bit, everybody. The good news, everybody, is that this game has an autosave feature. That's incredible. I didn't know that you would have an autosave feature on such an old game, so it's pretty cool. Alright, let's look at other ones. So apparently, yes, I can pick those up. This is a newspaper article reporting on the success of a first manned mission to Mars. I took part in it while undergoing my Policenauts training. Alright. The newspaper is the paper of the CIS, the Commonwealth of Independent States. Alright. I'll read some of the article. The 4 astronauts, among them Policenaut Jonathan Ingram, of a collaborative Mars project between Russia, America and Japan, touched down on the Red Planet yesterday. This new chapter in space history comes 40 years after man first set foot on the moon. Alright. This is a picture of me encountering a Mars rover on the surface. It was sent to Mars with the Mars 96 mission. Okay. We already read that. Alright. This is a newspaper article written at the time of Beyond Coast completion. It was written about 2 years before the article about the Mars landing. The headline reads, "Long envisioned colony complete, new era for mankind begins." I'll read some of the article. Basic construction of the world's first outer space colony beyond coast, underway for several years near Lagrangian point L5, was completed yesterday. The first wave of immigration will be centered around scientists and engineers who will spend 14 months performing checks and gathering data. Immigration is scheduled to be opened to the general public in 3 years' time. Beyond's position is shown in the diagram on the left. This is a picture of Beyond Coast right after it was completed. The only thing that they hadn't finished was the agricultural ring. Here they point out Beyond's location in space. It's in an orbit around the L5 Lagrangian point. It's the red dot. So that red dot. Alright. I have a model of Beyond on top of one of the filing cabinets. Oh, that's the thing that I was trying to actually look at earlier. This is a newspaper article about my accident that occurred during the EMPS spacewalk outside Beyond. It was written 3 years after the one about Beyond's completion. I don't know why I'm trying to do a voice that looks like kind of like a bad David Hayter or something like that. Well, I guess it's okay. I mean, you know, we reference Metal Gear here, right? The headlines reads, EMPS prototype malfunctions, Policenauts Ingram missing. This is a picture taken during the test-based walk of a Yuri model EMPS. It was a prototype police suit for use outside the colony, the successor to NASA's MMU. This image was taken from a camera aboard a nearby space shuttle. This was me and the Yuri as we were released from the hangar. I'll read some of the article. A malfunction occurred in the vernier thruster of the Yuri EMPS prototype during a test spacewalk of the device yesterday. The Yuri has been scheduled to be used by the Policenauts outside the colony. The EMPS has since vanished without a trace. The Yuri is equipped with a survival ball. But because an SOS signal can be isolated, the chances of test pilot Jonathan Ingram being found alive are thought to be slim. The official test has been scheduled for tomorrow. I remember what Salvatore said. Whatever you do, don't screw this up, Johnny boy. Everyone back home is gonna be watching. There were still a lot of people opposed to space development back then. It all happened so fast. Before I knew it, the four of them were gone. Everything after that's a blur. Next time I opened my eyes, I was lying on an hospital bed. Yep, so you remember obviously earlier we saw what happened when the four of the guys helped him to somewhat go on the outside of the beyond, and unfortunately the cord broke, so he was lost in space. This is a picture of me taken around the time of the accident. Alright, I think we did everything here, so let's look at what the windows show. These are some Venetian blinds I found at a Nanquick store. I don't like the adjustable glass you get today. I put them up so you can't see inside the office from outside. I like the effects that we do with the light here. Alright, so let's look a little bit at, I guess now if I press that, he's gonna say something? Yep. This is a miniature of Beyond. Ed made it for me. Ed's in a couple pictures on the wall. Alright. Let's look at the cabinet again. These cabinets are filled with blah 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 blah. We already talked about that, so I don't think I need to repeat all those things. I should have checked how actually I can save state, so like that I can make sure that if it breaks again, if it doesn't work again, I will be able to not redo absolutely everything. But the good news is, at least it's auto-saved. That was good. I was so pleased and surprised because, you know, when you play a PlayStation game from the past, it was really rare to have something that would have auto-saving. So I was very surprised. Okay, let's do some stupid thing. This is an ashtray I stumbled across at an antique store. It wasn't easy finding one of these. You don't need an ashtray for bent cigarette after all. The butts are starting to overflow. I guess I should empty it. Yeah, go empty it. It's an half-empty can of beer. The only beer most people can afford anymore is this imitation beer. It sucks remembering how good a cold one used to be. So it's the Budweiser of the future, guys. By the way, I don't drink alcohol, so I don't know how it tastes. So sorry. I'm just using, you know, things that other people say about Budweiser. It's a crumbled up piece of paper. This is a note from an old case. I'm not sure when it was. I had it stuck to the phone. My desk is a total mess, come to think of it. Yes, it is. Well, actually, I know some other people that have a desk much more horrid than this, and sometimes I have a desk that's sometimes horrid too. But anyway, it'd be nice if I could hire an assistant or something, but it doesn't look like anyone's up for working at a place like this. I've had a help wanted sign posted by the entrance to the building for quite some time, but no takers. Well, I can understand that. I wish I had an assistant too. Well, it would be cool. Having executive assistants seems very great to help you on some of your needs about, you know, setting up meetings and stuff like that. So. But I wouldn't use my assistant to actually clean my desk because that sounds very silly. Anyway, this is an investigation report to a client, for I haven't gotten very far with it. It was another child kidnapping, but my negotiation with the kidnappers failed. I couldn't save the child. He's probably already been cut apart and his organs trafficked to buyers. Sorry, kid. Jeez, that was pretty morbid. So you can see that it's a very Hideo Kojima game, because it has all those acronyms and very long scenes and very long things to read, but at the same time that's how you create a story, right? That's how you create an atmosphere around. So I'm already thinking that I know much more about their world than if I just have a cutscene that would quickly show something, you know, like Final Fantasy 13. Sorry, I didn't mean to do like a joke about Final Fantasy 13 here, but anyway. So I'm not gonna do the go outside because I do not want things to happen negatively in the game right now. We already talked about that. I wish I could have saved, so like that, you know, using the autosave, the save feature from the emulators I'm using. I'm using PSX, I think it is. Anyway. Let's look at the gun. This is my baby, a Beretta 92F. I've used one since I was a cop. I don't know why I say that like that. I used one since I have a cop, right? I could have stopped like that. Anyway, she's a bona fide. Is that how you say it here? Bona fide, bona fide. Well, whatever. But in French we would say bona fide in a way. A recall gun. Equipped with a laser sight. I use special 10-round magazines with armor-piercing bullets. I don't carry her so I can go around shooting everything in sight. She's strictly for protection. You know what is funny is that a lot of people use like feminine names on things that they own. So for example, like the car, somebody that I know have a car and they name the car with a feminine name, so it's always a very interesting thing to know about. This is a replica of a badge I had in LAPD. Sure does take me back. Sure does take me back. That's better. There's a picture from those days on the wall. Okay, I guess we'll have to look at the pictures that is on the wall somehow. But I don't remember the pictures from the day on the wall. Oh, okay. This is a picture from when I was in LAPD. Me and my partner Ed were always together. Oh,
エド・ブラウン。俺の人生で最も信用できる親友であり、良きパートナーだった。
That badge on my desk is a replica of the one I had then. Well, you know what? I'm not too far away from the voice of a Japanese actor. Well, probably not. I'm very far away from that voice, but that's okay. It's interesting the way they did that. Sometimes it's suddenly gonna change and you will have a voiceover. I will have to be careful about that. Okay, let's look at Ed first. Me and Ed have been good friends since the academy. We were a well-known team in narcotics. Ed was in the bomb squad before he joined narcotics. There was a lot of terrorist activity back then. Okay, if I look at some... Okay, we stayed close when we were Policenauts too. I haven't seen him since my accident. So we don't know how he looks like right now. Yeah, interesting to see. I was in narcotics at the time. I was reckless for a pretty short fuse. It seems like he still have a pretty short fuse, but we'll see when we're gonna have some action scene. I would have had a Beretta with me here too. My life felt so complete. Look at me, full of confidence. I'm like a totally different person. Well, so far we don't know yet. We'll see. March 12, 2010. Me and Lorraine were her happy husband and wife. Okay, so apparently he had a wife named Lorraine. I think I did. Oh, that was an LAPD building. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going so slow, but that's the ways I do video game in general. I'm really like digging very like in all the details of the game. So I deep dive on everything, and it makes me have a game of 10 hours to become 30 hours. So you'll have to deal with it on my Tossa show. And we have only 1 hour, and I think we have like 20 minutes left, so I'm hoping that I can get a little bit more action soon. These photos was taken to commemorate the selection of the Policenauts. 5 officers out of all the world police organization were chosen and trained. We were called the Original Corps, after the Mercury program's Original 7. We're wearing ejection escape suits here. These are obsolete now. Back then, everyone thought the orange-colored suits were cool. Okay, nothing with a blue background. Okay, who's that guy? I was absolutely ecstatic, but Lorraine, she was against me going to space. So it's him. It's Jonathan. Jonathan Ingram. Then, when I went to Mars, that was when we started to drift apart. After this was taken, I left Lauren behind on home and moved to Beyond. Okay, so he's a divorced dude. That's Ed. He was chosen out of LAPD along with me. He looks thinner here compared to the LAPD picture. Head still on Beyond, as far as I know. That's Joseph Sadaoki Tokugawa. He comes from the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department in Japan. He is now the head of a Tokugawa group. Sadaoki could be an intimidating dude at times. Okay, apparently I have to do it twice to get the most information, so I need to not forget to do that. That's Salvatore Toscanini. He came from NYPD. Apparently resigned from Beyond Coast Police over 10 years or so ago. Salvatore was a bit of an oddball. I never could put my finger on it, but there was just something about him. Sort of guy you don't easily forget anyway. Ah, okay. And the last one. That's Gates Baker. He came from Scotland Yard in the UK. I heard he's risen pretty high up through the ranks of Beyond Coast Police. Gates had a real passion for justice. He was always the leader. Well, justice is important. Oh, right. Now we're gonna get started to look at his other personal life items, so it's probably Lorraine or somebody else. We'll see. Alright, I guess that unfortunately I have once again to restart the game. So I'm gonna do a pause again and come back to you in a bit. See you. Okay guys, I'm back. Or I should be back. Let's go. Oh, what is system? Ooh, fancy. Alright, I'm saving. So the thing is that I didn't repeat everything yet. So sound system, what do you see? Change card, load, save, and options. Options, subtitles, on, absolutely. Well, we need the subtitles, otherwise we're not gonna understand anything. Caption on. Cursor speed. Eh, I think it's pretty fast. And controls defaults of pan one-handed. Wow, they have a one-handed. Anyway, let's go outside quickly. I don't have anything to do outside. It's still early anyway. I'll wait here for that clan to show. Alright, hopefully I don't need to redo a lot of stuff, but we'll see. So let's look at that pictures I wanted to look at. This is a photo of me and Lorraine at Lucas World. Okay, it's his wife. Or used to be his wife, his ex-wife.
ロレイン、俺のワイフ。いや、それも過去のことだ。俺があの事故を起こした後、ビヨンドで再婚したらしい。今では他人のワイフだ。日本人とアメリカ人との2世。あいつにはどこか神秘的なところがあった。
Oh, does that mean that she's gonna have a very important does that mean she's gonna have a very important like role in the game? That'll be interesting to see. I was a cop fresh off the academy. Look at us, young and in love. Lorraine was a student at UCLA. We met after her place got broken into. She was so naive. The things she would do sometimes. December 24th, 2008. This was our first Christmas together. I've still got the watch she gave me. It's one of those radio-controlled types. It was state-of-the-art for the time. Still hard to believe it's been over 30 years. Yeah, it is. Still hard to believe that actually that game is from 1994 or 1996. I don't remember if it was just a PlayStation game or if it was more than just a PlayStation game. I do think that there were multiple versions of that game on multiple consoles, because I remember that with the Snatchers, they had multiple versions of it. But anyway, let's continue to see, like, I guess the wedding picture. This is me and Lorraine on our wedding day. I was still a cop here in LA. Lorraine dropped off UCLA after we got engaged. Oh, how sad. Anyway, let's look at Lorraine first. Lorraine was like an angel in her wedding dress. I still wear my wedding ring. I remember discovering my rental tux didn't fit right before the ceremony. Poor guy. I originally had a black tuxedo. In those days, my life revolved around my job and Lorraine. Lorraine has this friend at a flower shop arrange her bouquet. If I remember right, Lorraine threw the bouquet right after this was taken. I still don't know how Head ended up catching it. Head's in a couple pictures on the wall. Uh-oh. August 24th, 2009. One day I'll never forget. I became a Policenaut exactly a year later. I'm wondering if I have to redo, unfortunately, some of those.
エド・ブラウン。
Okay, we're gonna redo some of those, I guess.
俺の人生で最も信用できる親友
I
であ
cannot
る
pass it.
良きパートナーだった
Okay, I'm gonna do very fast some of those stuff. Ooh, I was stressed. I don't want that thing to break again. I better save. So apparently with the current emulator, I cannot do save state. There's no like automatic system. It's actually really using the memory card system. So that's good and that's bad, because we want to make sure that we don't lose anything from the game. Oh. This is the only award I've ever received for anything. Oh, I didn't read the thing that was... It's a filing cabinet. I really need to get these organized. It'll be nice if I could hire a nice... Oh, I think I already said that too. Oh my god, I need to read all that stuff. They're all mystery novels, actually. Laurent Test must have rubbed off on me. Now I can open, actually, what I like is that now actually I can open those. Uh-oh. Oof. I was like, no, don't break my save. This is ancient history now, meaningless decoration, really. I'm not gonna repeat everything because it's interesting because the second time actually it does give something different. So it's an investigation report I'm working on. You hate to see a case end like this. Almost all containers are made from biodegradable plastic nowadays. A lot of old farmland is now used to let this thing decompose. That's interesting, because I think that was given into the... That's my Brady lighter. It's interesting. I don't know what Hideo Kojima has with with cigarettes, but I don't know if you remember on Metal Gear you can use cigarettes. It actually degrades your health, but at the same time it helps you to not be stressed or something, if I remember properly. I don't remember. Well, it's been a long time. You can still light a muslin by breaking off the end, but using a lighter adds to the flavor. They give off a little smoke and ash, though not as much as real ones did. Everything else is like smoking air as far as I'm concerned. Oh, dear lord. Alright, that'll be very fun to play that game. Every time it breaks. Alright, talk to all of you in a minute. Alright, we have 16 minutes left and now we're back in. I'm gonna try to go fast, but apparently when I go fast it's when actually the game breaks, so I need to be careful about that. This is a piece of paper with information on the client. I've been asked to look for their 4-year-old son. You just don't see many ransom kidnappings nowadays. It's safer for the kidnappers to quickly sell off the victim's organs to organ buyers, and they're guaranteed to see a return that way too. I've got a bad feeling about this one. It's a note related to a case I'm working. I'm sick of looking at papers. I don't feel like opening it right now. Alright, let's listen to that voicemail. It's a video phone with a built-in printer, for I've disabled the video from my end. Most of my cases come in over the phone. Clients don't particularly like meeting up in person. I've only spoken to Ed once since I was rescued. Using satellite connection still costs an arm and a leg. It's not like I can just call Beyond anytime I want. I'm way behind on my bill. I keep expecting to get cut off any day now. Alright, let's play messages. I should check the machine. Maybe there's a call from someone with a case.
もしもしなんだ間違ったごめんよ
Well, no luck.
間違い電話とはバカにしてる。くそ。仕事の依頼電話はないか。
Okay, there's another one. Let's see what the next one says.
こちら水道局ですが、水道料金が未払いです。早急に納金してください。
汚染した水を飲ませてるくせに。くそ。仕事の依頼電話はないか。
Money, 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 right? I'm worried that he's gonna force me to redo all those stuff. Okay, well, we'll figure it out, but I know that we have 16 minutes left, so I'm gonna try to do some of the stuff that we didn't do at all. Let's see the other message.
ジョナさん、私よ。最近ちっとも飲みに来ないじゃない。しけてるわね。
そうだ。俺はしけてる。わかってるさ。やっぱり事件の依頼は入ってないか。
このヘボ探偵覚えてろよバカにしやがっていいかこのままでは済まないぞ覚悟してろよ
ヘボ探偵か。くそ。仕事の依頼電話はないか。
聞こえるかオルソンだがオタクとの取引はなかったことにしてくれじゃあな
また依頼人に逃げられたか。くそ。仕事の依頼電話はないか。
How many messages do I have to listen to?
間違い電話とはバカにしてる。
あ、
やっぱり事件の依頼は入ってないか。
Alright, we're done with that at least. So before we do anything, no. Okay, before we do anything else, let's go save because it's better to be safe than sorry. We're gonna look at the Baritano again and see and look at all the newspaper clipboard on the clipboard or whatever. This is I've already said that, so I don't need to do that. Yeah, I'm wondering in this game if it's gonna be like Snatcher and you can use actually the gun. I doubt anybody else uses this kind of gun in the 21st century and everything. With the birth of the colony age, nearly all guns are now lift guns. People don't use recoil guns in weightless environments for obvious reason. But her, she's a part of me. I don't know why I say it this way, but that was hilarious. I got this pen when I was in LAPD. The mayor gave it to me along with that award. Knowing Ed, he probably still has his too. It was a pretty nice pen for the time. As you would expect from something this old, it's starting showing some wear and tear a while ago. Alright, let's look at some of those paperclip, newspaper article. I'll take us a little bit of time, everybody. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, what we can say in the meantime is that, as you can see, that game is definitely an adventure game. So, the only thing that you really have to do is to read. It was pretty different from a lot of other games that we know nowadays. Although... Okay, this wasn't very interesting, so that's why I didn't even bother to actually say something about it. Although, I was just playing Detroit Become Human before I play this here, and it's still pretty it's still pretty much similar when you think about it for some of them. But I like this kind of game, you know. I like playing games that do have a story more than anything else. But I know that it's good also to actually play and have something to do. But sometimes when you play a game, it's for the story. I'm a big fan of visual novels, for example. So this is more like a visual novel when you think about it. Before I did actually that episode, I was trying a software, and the games that I was playing was Famicom Detective Club Part 2 on the SNES. I'm probably gonna do it again with you guys. Right now, I have another version that is pretty bad that I don't want to share with anybody except some of my friends. So you're probably not gonna see it. Oh, I think I already did this one. It's just this one left, right? Nope. Which one did I done? There's one I didn't do. Okay, that's the one at the bottom? Okay, that's the last one. Then after that, I'm hoping that his client is gonna come by. It's funny because on Detroit Become Human, it's the opposite. I really want them to not stop me from looking around, and sometimes they're like, well, I'll send you something anyway because you spent too much time doing silly things. Yay! Okay, we have a client.
今日は運がいい。こんな早い時間に客が来るとは。どうぞ。鍵はかかっていない。
ジョナサン、久しぶり。
ロレイン。
It's his ex-wife.
そう、私よジョナサン。28年ぶりね。
今頃どうして？
私、おばさんになったでしょ。あなたは変わらないわ。あの頃のまま。
ロレイン、なぜ今になって俺のところに？
許してもらおうなんて思ってないわ。厚かましいのも分かってる。でも頼れる人がいないの。あなたしか。
何があったんだ？
助けてほしいの。私の夫が大変なことに。
分かった。さあ、入って。
Alright,
いいえ、ここで結構よ。あなたにこんな姿見られたくはないもの。
じゃあ、ロレイン、じゃあ、依頼人さん。とにかく話だけでも聞こうか。
Okay, so apparently we're gonna help the husband of your ex-wife, of Jonathan's ex-wife. Jonathan, I think I'm being followed. Hold on, I'll take a look. It's alright, I don't see anyone. Are you sure? Yeah, it's all in your head. Okay, let's see what we can and cannot do. Maybe you shouldn't keep looking outside. I don't want to find out someone really is out there. Is that an else? Because the fortune here? Yeah, but this one a little one. This one a little old. They're all the rage on home too. else change the design of its bag every year while producing them in limited numbers, then destroys all the originals. That's why they're so expensive, is it? I wasn't able to give you those things. Those kind of things. No, I didn't need anything back then. That's part of why I was happy. So that's an else. Okay. Jonathan, don't look at me like that. I'm 55 now. Like what like that? That's a nice coat you've got. Yeah, I guess. If you can afford it, why not, right? You're best not wandering around this area dressed like that. I see your taste hasn't changed. Grey always was your favorite color. Jonathan, you remembered. I can't believe it. Please, don't look at me that way. I want you to remember me the way I was when we were together. That necklace couldn't have been cheap. Yeah, it's pearl. I thought it wasn't easy getting hold of pearls on Beyond. That's right. We haven't had any success with culturing pearls there, and the number produced on home continues to drop every year. I could never afford all those luxuries. They're not that expensive, at least not for us. A pearl necklace. Can imagine how much it costs. There's another reason why pearls are so expensive there. Beyond strictly controls the inflow of goods from home. Yeah, they left down their own special import regulation, haven't they? Even the price of foodstuffs like rice and wheat is astronomical there. Of course, that's partly because of how difficult it is to grow anything. If only they could just find a simpler way of importing food from home. I guess it can't be that easy. No doubts about it, it's really her. I can see you very well over there. Why don't you come over here where there's more light? I don't think that's a good idea. We haven't seen each other in 28 years. You'd be shocked, I know it. I'm not that same girl anymore. You cut your hair? Yeah, several years back. I remember you liked my hair long, didn't you? Seems like a lifetime ago. So, what do you think? It suits you. Your hair's just as beautiful as before. I guess that's about it, so we're gonna talk to her now. Lorraine? Ask about, talk about. Okay, we're gonna start with ask about because it's the first thing you have. Oh, talk about. Well, let's start with talk about yourself. Alright, well, why don't I tell you about what's been going on with me? Oh, yourself as Jonathan himself, okay. I've been working as a private investigator the past few years. As you've probably guessed, finding work can be a bit of a struggle, but I'm managing. I see, that's good to hear. There's still plenty of ways to make a buck around here for someone like me. I can imagine. They don't call it the Angeles City for nothing. Angeles City for nothing. Things are going alright, as long as I, keep some realistic expectation, I'll survive.
タバコ吸ってるのね。
ああ、これか。地球ではまだそれほど肩身の狭い思いをしなくて済むんだ。
昔は吸わなかった。
あの頃は これでも宇宙飛行士だったからな。
Oh, interesting. So he talks about about things that when he was talking before about like how the cigarettes were different, he never smoked. So how did he know? Old LA.
俺たちがいたあの頃から30年近く経っているが、何も変わっちゃいない。本当のロスは北に移転しちまったがな。ただたまに今日みたいに雪が降るんだ。異常気象らしい。
ロスに雪が降るなんて。
例の地下鉄もスラム化が進んだんで廃止になってる。あの頃の友人も知人もいなくなっちまったが、同じような仕事仲間はいる。
ジョナサン、結婚は？その指輪。
いや、自分のことで精一杯だ。この指輪は君とのその時のものだ。指輪の跡がかっこ悪くてね、取れずにいる。
まだ私の写真飾ってくれてるのね。
ああ、これ
なんだか嬉しい。
俺にとってはつい昨日のことなんだ。
ごめんなさい。
J'adore this. Oh, it's funny. I went to French for a reason, so apologies about that. I love the style because it's like an anime style, you know. So it's very fun to see. So let's see. There's something else to say about old LA. I plan on staying here the rest of my life. I have no intention of going back to space. I can smoke as much as I want that way too. Alright, I know that I think that I'm pretty close to be at the 1 hour that I'm supposed to do, but let's play a teensy bit more, okay? Like maybe 10 minutes more, just to be safe. Okay, let's talk about work. On home, kidnappings are becoming almost as frequent as rapes and robberies. Trafficking people's more profitable than drugs or prostitution now. That's terrible. It's even more dangerous here now than it was when I was a cop. Just be careful, okay? So talking about LA, it's a city that people love to use in a science fiction, futuristic kind of vibe. I think that a lot of things does depend on Blade Runner when you think about it. And actually, if you play Snatcher, you'll see that Snatcher is so similar to Blade Runner. I think that they even name some of the androids or something like that, replicants or whatever they are. I nearly want to say deviant, but maybe it's because I played too much of Detroit Become Human. I should probably do a review of this if I can. Okay, work. The police aren't equipped to handle certain types of cases, so that makes it easier to get work. Plus, we have our negotiator privileges. Negotiator privileges? We are permitted a certain level of police authority in the interest of public safety. You know, like entering a house related to an investigation, or being allowed to own certain guns. You normally can't. Alright, one last time. Okay, so let's ask about why she's here. A request. Why don't we get to it then? You're finally ready, huh?
で、君の夫がどうしたって？
夫の北条健三が3週間前会社に出かけたきり行方不明なの。会社や警察に問い合わせても誰も取り合ってくれないの。
それで地球へ？
嫌な予感がするの。何かあったに違いないわ。
蒸発とかじゃ？
蒸発なんて考えられない。この地球ならともかくコロニーで行方不明だなんて、きっと何かの事件に。
脅迫みたいなものは？
いいえ、何も。まるで神隠しにあったみたい。
金目当ての誘拐ではなさそうだ。さっきから外を気にしてるようだが、つけられてるのか？
そんな気がするの。気のせいかもしれないけど。
So you want me to look for him? Please help my husband. Please find him. You're the only person I've got. Hard to look for someone when you don't know what they look like. I've got a photo of him with me. Okay, let's talk about her family. You have any kids, Lauren? I have a daughter. Her name's Karen. It's just the three of us. My husband, my daughter, and me. We all live together on Beyond. Okay, let's talk about her daughter then. So your daughter's living there too? Karen is a news anchor on Beyond. A news anchor, huh? She's pretty famous there. She'll be 27 soon. She's still single. Hard to believe you have a 26-year-old daughter. I am 55 now, remember? Okay, let's talk about Beyond. What's Beyond like these days? Like you were saying, this place doesn't look like it's changed much. Beyond's different. A lot different. You wouldn't recognize it either. Everything's settled down there. It's pretty much like any ordinary city now. Beyond will be celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. Things have slowly gone downhill over the years for. You're always looking over your shoulders wherever you go now, if you know what I mean. You're always looking. Yeah, I read you. It's always been that way in the city. Like everywhere, every time that there's a new city or something important, there's always some problems apparently. Okay, now let's talk about Kenzo Ojo, because we're all here from that, right? And then after that we probably have to stop that video. So I apologize for that very slow beginning, but I hope that you did like it, because so far it makes me interested to play it.
君が再婚した北条ってどんな人物なんだ？
北条は日系2世で、あの徳川グループの徳川製薬に勤める技術者よ。生真面目で勤勉で、とても悪いことなんかできない人。そうね、写真だったわね。
なるほど。どう見ても悪人には見えないな。幸せそうじゃないか。
ええ、この写真預かってくださるわよね。
強引だな。
I love the voice of the actress. I really like her voice. Oh, there's a lot of new stuff that pops up. What is the show? Okay. Okay, let's do the show first. Hojo photo. So this is Hojo. I actually don't have that many pictures of him. I'm sure it'll come in. I'm sure it will come in useful. It was taken a while back. He's gained some weight since then. You could try correcting it with a CG if you get the chance. Oh, sorry about that, but I have some of my phones that keep pinging. Okie dokie. Let's continue because I don't want to lose your time, people. So let's talk about the marriage to Hojo before we talk about the behavior, okay? How'd you guys meet? I moved to Beyond right after you went missing. After how much you hated me? I just wanted to be closer to you any way I could. I met Kenzo at Nihonjin Matsuri, run by Tokugawa. Nihonjin Matsuri. It's a festival for Japanese people and beyond. So, why were you there? So let's not forget that when they say, was that Nisei? Nisei, Nijei? Nisei. I think it was Nisei. It means that they're half American and half Japanese. And half Japanese. I don't know why I said Japanese, but so let's not forget that. So, why were you there? I have Japanese blood too, remember? Forgive me, Jonathan. I couldn't have survived on my own. I was lonely. I wanted someone to be there. That's when Kenzo came along. Okay, we have nothing else about Kenzo, so let's talk about Tokugawa, which I think you remember when we were watching those 5 Policenauts. One of them was a Tokugawa. The conglomerate's reach doesn't stop at Beyond. They essentially run space, and Joseph Sadaoki Tokugawa runs the group. So that's the name of one of the Policenauts at the time. Well, from one of the Policenauts. He's just as well known on home as he is out there. If Hojo's a Tokugawa employee, I suppose we can't totally rule out he was kidnapped. You could get good money out of that, I'd imagine. No one on Beyond would ever think of messing with Tokugawa. They're too afraid of the retaliation. It wouldn't be worth it. They took advantage of the space development boom more than anyone. They essentially have the power to shape space economy however they want. Is there a second wave of Japan bashing going on there? No, it's just the opposite. Thanks to Tokugawa, the colony's economy is flourishing. But everything else is another story. Okay, let's talk about Hojo's behavior. You notice anything unusual about your husband before he disappeared? All the years I knew him, he'd been your typical company employee. He'd get up, leave for work, then come walking through the door at the end of the day. Pretty much true, I can tell you that. Every day I wake up early, leave for work, come back home and do absolutely nearly nothing. Which I wish I could use for tossing an hour from time to time. Well, do nothing is a very strong word. I do watch TV and all that, and obviously I'm still in front of that little machine that we all love, our phone, right? Anyway. Same schedule, day in, day out. Quite a change from my hours. But the past few months, he'd become more unpredictable, you might say. You can't really draw anything concrete from that. You think it'd become involved in something, Far? That's my gut feeling, yeah. If there were indication of some sort of trouble beforehand, the chance of it being a ransom, kidnapping are pretty slim. He'd become angry and frightened. That wasn't like him. I'd never seen him break down like that before. So you're saying someone might have been targeting him for some reason? He never told me what was going on, whatever it was. Okay, let's look for clues.
ロレイン、君の勘だけではわからないな。何か手がかりになるようなものは。
北条から預かっているものがあるの。カプセル剤と葉の切れ端なんだけど、なんだかわからないけど 重要なものらしいわ。
カプセルと墓。
自分に何かあったらこれを警察か信用のできる人のところへ届けるようにって。
信用のできる人か。
ね、蒸発なんかじゃないでしょ。
That's very interesting.
まだその手がかりの品を見せてもらってはいないが、他に何か手がかりは？
口癖のように言ってたことがあるの。プラトーに何かあるって。
Plato.
プラトーに
Like
何
the,
かある。
the philosopher?
何のことだろう。
Anything else? No, that's it. So will you take a look at the things Kenzo gave me? Yes, capsule.
どっちからでもいいが、それは
これがそのカプセルよ。
何の薬だろう。
わからないの。
徳川製薬に関係するものだろうか。
これ預かってくださる？
Okay, let's continue to talk about the capsules. Will you try and get them analyzed? Oh, leaf.
じゃあもう一つのその葉の切れ端ってのは。
これがその葉よ。見たことのない葉だわ。
しかしなぜ半分なんだろう。
最初から半分だったわ。預かってくださる？それ。
Any idea what this could be for? They look like ordinary medical capsules you'd find at any pharmacy. You'll be able to get an analysis done, right? I didn't really notice anything unusual about them. To be honest with you, I don't see how something like this could be that important. He's talking about the leaf, if you didn't see what I picked up. But if he went off his way to give it to you, I suppose there must be something to it. I wonder what kind of plant it is from. Can you get an analysis performed? Capsule and a leaf. I'll have to get an expert for these. Do you know someone? You'd need to be sure they're not connected to Tokugawa. This is home. That won't be a problem. I wonder what kind of plant it's from. Okay, let's go back to the leaf here. See if you can get it analyzed. Okay. So let's finish with Plato. Plato. Could he have said Pluto? To be honest, I'm not sure anymore. We still haven't been to Pluto for. It's funny because I guess at that time Pluto was considered a planet, which I think it's not anymore. It's funny because I think that there's still debate about what Pluto should be. If I'm not wrong, we're into 2020, but it's been a long time. I didn't read anything about that, so I assume that it's still not considered a planet, but it used to be a planet and it's not. Well, at least from the way that we classify it. Right? Because it probably wasn't a planet to begin with.
依頼の内容については君の話で大体分かった。確かにただの蒸発じゃなさそうだ。
ジョナサン、引き受けてくれるわよね。お金なら心配しないで。お金はドル？円？
待ってくれ、ロレイン。
We can decline the case, interesting. But me, I don't want to decline it. Actually, I want to know what's going on, so I'm gonna accept it.
ロレイン、即答はできないが考えておくよ。
ジョナサン、引き受けてくれるんじゃ。
悪いがしばらく考えさせてくれないか。今日のところは。
そうね。
すまない。これは預かっておくよ。
わかった。また来るわ。週末までビバリーヒルズのホテルニューローズにいます。いつでも連絡して。ジョナサン、 私許してもらおうなんて思ってない。あなたの帰りを待ちきれなかったの。ごめんなさい。あなたが救出された時、私心から嬉しかった。もっと早かったらすぐにでもあなたのところへ飛んで行けたのに。それが言いたかった。
ロレイン、ここへはどうやって？
ホテルで車借りたの。クラシックな感じの。
そうか。
会えてよかったわ。じゃあ。
It's the perfect time to say goodbye to you as well. So that was I think that was already an hour, so I'm gonna stop now. But as you can see, we just started the game. So it seems that the game will be pretty long because there's a lot of details.
ロレイン、俺も会いたかった。もっと早くに。
She was followed. She was right.
ロレイン、車から離れろ。
Jump!
奴はどこへ行った？
Ah,
撃ってきやがった。
yes, it's a battle. Okay. Ah, jeez, I wanted to stop, but unfortunately we couldn't. But as you can see, it's very simple.
どこに隠れた？
Can I go somewhere else? Okay, so you can like so with triangle you can actually reload. I wasn't sure how to reload at the beginning. Ah, I didn't see, but you can see there's some impact. So it does reload automatically too. It's funny, most people are not real people, they're just... Oh, I found him! Okay. Alright, now we know what it's gonna go to, but I would love to save because unfortunately... Oh. I pressed the X in order to do that. So I'm gonna save. And now we're gonna stop the game. So I'm so sorry that you're not gonna see what's gonna happen next, but right now my verdict after more than an hour of playing time is that it's a game that I'm very excited to play about. I think that, you know, it has a certain charm, right? It has that usual like charming atmosphere that you can see in all the games, and also in kind of like those science fiction kind of tales. So it'll be very interesting to see. Oh, I can go to Lauren if I want to before entering the alley. Oh, apparently I cannot. Alright everybody, that's it for today. So thank you so much for spending the time with me. It was Toss Show and it was a Toss an Hour. And I'll see you next time. Alright, bye bye everybody.